Hello Year 8 and welcome to a lesson on borders lesson 3. Today we'll be looking just solely at push and pull factors in the context of the USA to Mexico border, which is very, very relevant and always in the news. So we'll just talk through a little bits about what push and pull factor is, and then look in detail about the USA-Mexico border, about the particular push and pull factors associated. Next week, we'll look at the consequences of migration. That's where I think it gets a bit more interesting. It's less about the theory, it's more about the effects, the social, economic and environmental consequences of migration from Mexico to the USA and the USA to Mexico. So we'll look at that next week. So I'll just talk you through the lesson, what we've got on here. Well, firstly, I'll talk through the do it now that you've got to look at. So we have an image. We got three images. Think about what sort of questions you'd like to ask about these images. So just think amongst yourselves, just think about what questions you would like to ask about the images. Feel free to pause and then have a think about that. Okay, so what sort of questions? Questions for me, why the bottom left picture, why has this happened for me? And then the top left one, why is the train so packed? Why, if it's 2001, is the train still running now? Could be a question. And for the picture on the right, what has happened would be a question that I would ask. This train is called La Bestia. It's translated to the beast. It's known as the death train. It takes people from Mexico into the USA. We'll look at that in a video on that in a minute. So the title, what is making so many people move to the USA? And the purple learning question, what is the main reason why migration happens? We'll look at the reasons for people migrating. You looked at the definition of migration last week, so the movement of people from the USA to Mexico, from Mexico. And this is where we'll talk through the pull and push factors, understand the reasons. Why are people leaving an area? Why do they want to leave somewhere? Why do they want to go to a particular place? So in the context of what we're looking at today, why do they want to leave Mexico? What's going on in Mexico that makes them want to leave? Why do they want to then go to the destination of the USA? What is pulling them in? So, I'll direct you to a YouTube clip and have a look at this death train and just think about the question, why, if it's so dangerous, why do so many people want to risk making this journey? So let's just have a look at this video. So if you go to, if you type in Mexico Train of Death, it sounds very, very depressing, this, by Carl Penhall. It's 6:37 long. And then just be watching this video. I won't play it now because I think the sound doesn't work on it, but just play it at home and then really think about that question. Why, if that is so dangerous, why do people want to do it? So yeah, that's La Bestia. Have a little look at it. Okay. After that, we are not going to do our 476th geographical description of a place, but just think about how you would how you answer it. Using those compass points, ocean and seas, borders it shares. Something like Mexico is located in the continent of North America, is bordered by Guatemala, Belize, and the USA. The something ocean is located, the Pacific Ocean is located, you could probably say southwest, might be southwest of Mexico. Something like that with 3 separate points will get you a lot of marks. Well, probably just 3 marks out of 3, but that's enough. Now's a chance to really pause it and think, why Mexico? Why are so many people moving from Mexico to the USA? Just pause it and think before we have a look at some of these reasons. Okay, before we go any further, I want you to try and match up the key terms. So again, in a second, pause it, try and think about which one's which, and then go from there. 25% chance anyway, so please do have a guess before I reveal the answers in a second. Okay, you recognise two of these: migration and immigrant. Migration, the movement of people from one place to another. Immigrants, a person that permanently moves in. If you think in sounds like in, that's a way to remember it. An emigrant from last week, it's not on here, but emigrant was E. I thought E stands for exit. So E is someone who leaves a country. Push and pull factor. There's one good one and one bad one. The push factor makes people want to be pushed away. So it's things that make people want to move away. So down here. So push factor, things that make people want to move away from an area. Pull factor is up here. Things that make people want to move to an area. They're pulling them in. They're dragging them in. Can you think of any push factors from Mexico? Any negative things that might make people want to leave compared to the USA? And also, can you then think of any pull factors that make someone, a migrant, want to go to America from Mexico? Just have a think of any push and pull factors. Okay. So I'd like you to make a table. You can either copy the one on here or you can write it out. And I want you to list some of those that you thought of earlier. And then beyond that, I want you to access the other document. The other document will be called, one second. So the other document will be on here. You've got, here we go. It will be called L2 wall posters. And if we just wait for this to load down the bottom. Okay, you have got 10 push or pull factors that you'll be having a look through. And I want you to start looking through them, not copying absolutely everything on there, but just trying to read through it or looking at the data, as here, the pictures, and think about, is this making people want to leave Mexico? That will be a push factor. Or is it making people want to move to USA? A pull factor, it's pulling them in. So I would like you to work looking at that to create this table in full. After that, and this is where you really be pushing towards higher levels, is to rank them in order of importance. Start to evaluate, assess, and examine these in detail. Which one out of those, which push and pull factors are the most important? Which do you think the main reason why people move to America from Mexico? You can, I'll also put a document about this with this template on if you wanted to use it, or if you don't want to do this pretty diamond, you can just list it. But when you are doing this, I really want you to write a few lines just to say why you have put the first one at the top and why have you put the bottom one at the bottom. Why do you think jobs, for instance, why do you think employment is the main reason? Really try and make that really, really clear. If you can prove your point in geography, if you can make a point and then back it up and justify it, you'll get much higher marks. And just to show you the template, this template will be here. So I'll put that on, I'll give that to class charts as well. After that, the last bit you're going to do, and should be at least, could be at least three-quarters of a page, could be a page. I'm looking for about 3 paragraphs at least. Diary entry. Imagine you were making that journey that these people were here. How would you feel? Try and really capture that journey. And you want to talk for a diary entry. What did you think about? How did you feel? Why were you going? If you can cover the points about why you are going, you've listed about the push and pull factors. This is a start that you might want to include. Dear Diary, today I'm taking La Bestia, the beast, to the United States of America. I want to leave Mexico because, and then you can include some of those push factors. I hope I can have a better life in the USA because, and pull factor. So you can talk through those as well. So just be having a think about those for a second. And lastly, I also want to just show you I also want to just show you quickly, if you wanted to get in touch with us, same as before. If anyone has not seen this before, it's really, really good. Have a look. But also, just on YouTube, there's lots of discussion about the borders, about USA to Mexico. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to get in touch. If anyone gets some work to me, get some work completed, £55, I'll make sure they're in use for next year. If they don't, if they wipe them off at the end of the year, I'll add them all on in September. So please get some work to us, and that would be great. Like we said, next week we'll look at consequences of migration at the USA-Mexico border a bit more in detail rather than just push and pull factors. Yeah, like I said, have a go at the push and pull table and then the Diamond 9. And then after that, really have a go at that diary entry, and that would be fantastic. Apart from that, I hope you're all safe, you'll stay safe, take care, and I'll speak to you next week. Bye.